Well, howdy doody there. Yep, it's time again. Going to read a wee bit more of chapter 2. The adventure begins. Okay, where did we leave off here? We are on, Ella. She was kneeling down and playing with the little dog. Well, not too little, he's a golden lab. And she was saying how she hadn't seen him yesterday. Well, Bruce is all business out, and without stopping his activity, he quickly speaks up. We had Jack stay at Ray and Stella's place until after the memorial and the luncheon reception we had here, or Irish wake like Charlie would call it. Anyway, Jack needed the friendship of his buddies too. Those Wortman girls spoiled him silly. Thomas reaches for another dog hug, saying, "You miss him too, don't you, boy?" Then looking up at Bruce, Thomas says, "Amazing how he acts like he knows us. I've only seen him a couple of times when he was younger." He and Ella play with Jack as he jumps up all around them. Bruce lets them know Jack is that friendly with all the guests. Yeah, it's something he learned from Brandywine, along with all his dog training. Ella reverently and Thomas reverently stand together. They look at each other with pure understanding in their eyes. They knew Brandywine, Uncle Charlie's first big Irish setter dog. With a knowing smile, they each bend down to pet Jack again. Both Ralph and Paul are pleased to see that each of them responds so well to being around Jack. Paul speaks up first. Will Jack be joining us on the hike? Bruce knowingly smiles as he says, maybe for a while. He has the run of the place and may have other places to go and explore. I'm sure he will go in search of Charlie. We'll start with him out by our side, just not sure how long he'll stay with us. Well, Thomas stands up and says, he'll come and go just like old Brandywine did. He'll be with us for a while and then off for his own kind of fun. Then he'll come back. Ella keeps kneeling and cuddling Jack as she says, well, that is something we agree on. Then taking Jack, cupping his face in her hands, she looks him in the eye and says, you're just like Uncle Charlie's dog Brandywine. Then she stands up and asks, are we there yet? Thomas's attitude changes abruptly. Wide-eyed and trying not to be angry, he responds sarcastically, you mean, have we left yet? Ella ignores him and takes off with Jack to explore. Paul gladly follows along. Ella joyfully walks over toward the big garden and chicken coop with Jack. Paul is surprised that she actually seems to enjoy her time with the dog. He is even more surprised when he sees her reach into the chicken coop nesting box and tenderly caress one of the little hens. Ella, talking to the hen, says, you're just as friendly as your grandmother. I'm sure you must have learned it from her. Paul is really interested in this conversation and asks, you know these hens? Ella smiles as she walks over to the garden area and peers in through the fence. Yes, she responds, of course. Chicken coop duty was my favorite chore. Those golden hens are the friendliest of all hens and give us the most eggs. All of them love their freedom inside the garden. See, they walk freely from place to place all day long. They can eat the bugs. We keep them in the chicken coop at night for their protection. Paul looks at the fence that goes all around the garden and says, this looks more like a prison. That's military barbed wire all around the top. Ella smiles as she says, yes. That's one of the reasons we can even have a garden, especially one this big. Too many deer love to eat our garden. Yeah, as well as the rabbits. Uncle Charlie's learned early on how to save Maria's beloved garden. Very curious, Paul says. That's a double fencing layout. Again, Ella agrees. Yes, that's what Uncle Charles learned. Did you know that deer can jump as high as 8 feet? Paul shakes his head in the negative. Ella continues. So Uncle Charlie got clever. He saw a lady's small garden, somewhere over near Silver Lake, as I recall. Anyway, she called it an envelope fence. This one is only 6 foot high, with a 3-foot space between each fence line. That military barbed wire curling its way around Maria's half-acre has provided lots of protection for our food. Paul nods and says, it sure is a commanding sight to see. As they are walking around the outside of the garden, Paul is curious and asks, is that windmill for power? I don't see any power lines here on the property. Do you folks use solar power? Ella smiles as she remembers. Uncle Charles stand on those power lines. Then she quietly says, power lines are ugly and they take away from the beauty of the land. That's what Uncle Charles would say. The windmill is the pump for the water tank and down here. The big water tank on the hillside uses electrical power. The main power panel is in the woodshed. Well, actually, there's a bank of panels, one for each of the houses and barns and stables too. All power lines are underground, as they should be, according to Uncle Charlie. Paul looks around and nods his head in approval, saying, yes, by having those power lines underground, it sure helps keep the area clean and beautiful. Then the two of them follow Jack over to one of the horse corrals. When Bruce sees her, he calls out, Ella, save your energy for the hike. Get back over here so I can check on a few things. Ella pulls a drama tantrum for the camera, enjoying every minute of it. Soon she saunters back to the hitching post by the house, with Paul right by her side, capturing the glee on her face. Jack runs on ahead and sits by Bruce. Bruce returns to his duties, checking his guest list. Time to do an update on those checklists. Ralph, he calls out in a formal voice, come here for a moment. I need to ask you for a few things I'm not sure about. Ralph shrugs his shoulders and points to his camera. Bruce calls out again with authority in his voice. Put it on pause and tell Thomas to go sit down. I need you. Thomas laughs and gleefully gladly goes to sit on the veranda. Now that veranda goes all the way around that Western-style house and has a Victorian twist to it. Gingerbread on the posts with the whitewashed railings and 6-foot wide steps on all 4 sides of the house. As Thomas sits in Bruce's comfortable chair, he watches Ralph walk over to Bruce. Look at that, Thomas mutters to himself. He sure takes his job seriously. What's up, Ralph asks Bruce, who quickly replies, I know you told me this morning that you have all your supplies, and I did check your camping gear. I'm just checking on something else. Are you sure you two have enough film? As it looks like it will for sure be a 4 or 5 day hike. Ralph is relieved. Oh, is that all? Well, we have 3 cassettes a day for 6 days in these portable coolers I showed you. Now you need to remember, these are commercial camcorders, the 1991 professional upgrade, top of the line style. Guess I forgot to tell you. We have commercial beta camera cassettes that have 4 hours recording time. Our lithium-ion battery packs have 57 watt hours each. We each have 3 of these for this trip. Charlie made sure we got top of the line everything. Bruce looks at Ralph's backpack up on the veranda and understandingly says, so that's why you both have those 70-pound Army-issue backpacks. Bruce chuckles for a bit, and then he says, okay, you're back on duty. Off goes Ralph with his camcorder. About halfway up the path to the house, he starts rolling the film and waves at Thomas, who smiles and gets up. Thomas cheerfully goes back to the pack horse and checks in with Bruce. Any more on your checklist for me? Bruce pulls out a piece of paper from his clipboard that actually has Thomas's name on it. Thomas grins big as he says, "Hey, I was just kidding. I know we did this already this morning. I'm just enjoying the memory. As I recall, you do this with all the Dude Ranch folks." Bruce seriously says, "Yes, and we have never had an accident or missing items on a trek." Thomas shakes his head in amazement and says, "That is a great safety record. I wish our research team could learn from you." Bruce grins and offers, "Well, you could hire me as a safety consultant, and I could come check things out for you." Bruce laughs. Thomas doesn't. He quickly and seriously responds, "Don't laugh. I just might do that." And that's our stopping point for today, because this is also the day that I get to share a scripture with you. Sharing scriptures about, that helped me during my 16 years as a single parent. And that was most often in Proverbs. And one that really means a lot to me that I learned back then and continue to use today is the one, with all thy getting, get understanding. Now, at that particular time, what I was getting was learning about PET, parent effectiveness training. And, I wasn't born a parent, and I had to learn how to be a parent because I didn't exactly have a rosebed of upbringing. So I wanted to learn how to be a good parent for my sons. And PET, Parent Effectiveness Training, is getting knowledge from that book doesn't really do enough. You have to apply the knowledge that you're getting. And as you get more understanding, you need to apply it, and that gives you experience. And because the experience of that topic, whatever topic it is that you're studying or doing, whatever topic it is, you need to get the understanding by applying the knowledge, the principles that you're learning. And as you apply those principles and get more understanding, that leads right into wisdom. Wisdom of when to use that knowledge and when not to. And I'm sure each one of you have had that in your life too. Learning moments. That's why we're here. The good Lord put us here on earth to learn and grow and become better at making relationships. And that's what's right here in this trilogy, that the good Lord's given me this story now. So it's time to be moving on. And I will let you know that I hope to see you again. And remember, you could be following along because, I ad-lib. So you just take care, go forth this day with kindness in your heart and the love of God enfolding you. So, bye-bye for now. Love hugs from Grama Jean.